Look at all the rain. There it is. The coffee is made. Well, guys, as you can tell, it's raining outside. Again. But good morning. Good morning with Daze with Jordan the Lion. We'll make the best of it. I love the rain. I just don't really like to drive in it. Unfortunately, that's not really going to be something I can control today because before it started raining last night, as I was editing the vlog from yesterday, the Pee Wee Herman vlog with Jeff Scott, which I hope you guys are all taking the time to watch. It's so good. It really is so good. He tells so much cool stuff in there. As I was watching, I felt like, I don't know, maybe I didn't get the best out of my camera. Obviously, it was the first day I was using it, so I didn't really know how to adjust the settings for indoor, outdoor, all that stuff. And then, magically, as I'm editing the video, I get an email. And the email is connected to the purchase of my camera. And it's basically saying that with this camera purchase, you get a free consultation at Geek Squad, where they'll help you set up the camera, show you the best uses for it. Couldn't have come at a more perfect time. So, I actually went ahead and made my appointment for first thing today. So, I have to be there in about less than an hour. And I'm just going to go over the camera with them and let them show me maybe what the best settings are for how I use it. And then I already had our vlog planned today. I already kind of knew what I was going to do, and this rain really shouldn't affect it. Because it's a movie I was watching 2 nights ago. I'm sitting there watching it and I go, I've seen that house before. I drove past that house, and I mentioned in a vlog once, when we went to Doris Roberts' celebrity sale, I pointed at the house and I said, gosh, if that wasn't in a movie, it should be. Well, turns out it wasn't a movie, so we're going to go back, we're going to visit that today. I'm going to tell you what movie it was from, tell you all the stories, and we're going to have a blast even in the rain. Let's rock. Well, we're on our way. Hopefully I don't have to do a whole lot of driving today. I was going to hit up Kevin and go watch the Michigan game in Florida State, but I don't really think I want to be driving at night, so in the rain. So, here we go. Let's get this Best Buy trip over with. It's not my favorite thing to do. Alright, here we go. Geek Squad first timer here. Well, they went to find me somebody that has used my camera before because the people here have never messed with this, so they can't really advise me on what to do with it. But we'll find out if anything changes. Well, the sun's come out and I didn't bring my sunglasses, so good thing I have those road pair in my console. Basically what they did was they showed me how to adjust the exposure, but nobody really seemed to have ever messed with that camera before. So it wasn't a great help, but it was showing me kind of how to adjust the exposure for some of the scenes I want to do. So I'll mess with that today and see. I gotta find some sunglasses. This is killing me. When I left the house, it was completely overcast, so I just absolutely didn't think I would need my green sunglasses and didn't bother bringing them. I thought it would look ridiculous walking around in the rain with them, but now the sun's kind of peeking out here and there, so we're in the blues. So let's go do this vlog. This is going to be fun. If you've never seen this movie, don't feel bad. I had never seen it until like 2 days ago, even though people had recommended it to me for about 15 years. The movie? You hate the silence, don't you? Double Indemnity, starring Fred MacMurray and Barbara Stanwyck. Okay, guys, I hope you don't mind. I changed my mind. I was totally going to do Double Indemnity. Okay, here's the story. I used to have a job. I told you guys I used to drive around all night. Well, part of that job was I had to go to like these private gated communities, and I know that a lot of the houses there were at one time really famous people's houses. I was driving by one of them. The gate happened to be open, so I just drove in. There's some pretty interesting people that lived in here. I don't know when I'll get to do this again, so I figured why not stop off and do it now. The first one we're going to see is the home of Cecil B. DeMille. And this was so much his house, it pretty much takes up a good portion of the entire gated community, and the road that it's on is called DeMille. Well, this is the property of Cecil B. DeMille. I used to work over here. You can't really see a whole lot, but I'll show you what I can show you. Here's the front gate. The interesting thing about this is he lived here for like 30 years, and then like in the 20s Charlie Chaplin was his neighbor. He lived next door up here at 2010. So Cecil B. DeMille just bought the property off of him, put a trellis connecting the two, and it all became part of the same estate. And this would have been Charlie Chaplin's mansion right up here. Beautiful homes of history. Look at that. That would have been Charlie Chaplin's house in the 20s. And that estate back there was W.C. Fields, which is pretty cool. There's his address. And the observatory way up there. I know, like I said, you guys can't see a whole lot, but that's the back of the Cecil B. DeMille estate. And I think I probably will go do double indemnity anyway, because this wasn't all that interesting. Not like I thought it would be. Well, here we are. This is the home, the apartment building of Walter Neff, played by Fred MacMurray. Now you get multiple shots of Walter Neff driving into this driveway with his big car, and then it never really shows where he's located. It just always pans up, and the building pretty much looks the same. I mean, pretty much exactly the same. I think that they probably have slapped a white coat of paint on there, but that's exactly the building that they used for his apartment. And this is where Walter Neff would have been sitting up there calling Barbara Stanwyck, Mrs. Dietrichson, on his phone and trying to arrange secret rendezvous.
I didn't feel like eating dinner when I left, and I didn't feel like a show. So I drove home, put the car away, and went up to my apartment.
Just in case you might want to see it a little closer where his car would have driven in, it would have been right there. And that's the front door. And the address is 1825 North Kingsley, if you want to look it up. Now, we definitely couldn't just leave the vlog by going to Walter Neff's apartment when we can go to the house of Mrs. Dietrichson, where it all started. Well, you'll remember Doris Roberts' house when we went to her celebrity estate sale recently. That's her house. And when we drove up here, I said, this place looks like it should have been in a movie. And it was. It was in Double Indemnity. This is the house. And they actually, it looks almost identical. The garage doors are different. They've completely redone the garage doors. They don't have that arch to them anymore, and it comes out a little further. And the steps are different. But you'll remember in the movie that this is where Fred MacMurray first comes up here at Barbara Stanwyck's request to open a policy. And when he gets up here, he finds out that the policy is she wants to open up a policy against her husband without him knowing about it, and won't really say why. She just says that he's awful to her. And Fred MacMurray, of course, how the way the movies worked back then was Fred MacMurray fell in love with her right away and decides he's going to kind of help hatch a plan. So he then comes up here again, creates the document that her husband would need to sign, and kind of slides it in while the husband thinks he's signing a different document. And that's where, outside that door, and they wouldn't have actually filmed anything for the movie inside. They would have recreated that on a soundstage, but that's the same style door. It's got the blocks and everything. It's the same style door that you see in the movie. You can see right there. It's the same style. It's the same exact style door. So they've kept it pretty much the same. Fred MacMurray, right outside that door, tells her what double indemnity is, and that if they can get the husband to die on what is a double indemnity, like a extremely far-fetched way of dying, and what they decide is they want him to die on a train. And so they plan out his murder. I really grew up with Fred MacMurray on My Three Sons, the replays of that. So when I saw this movie and saw him trying to be so debonair and smooth, it was kind of surprising to me because I don't view him that way. But the movie is extremely good. And Edward G. Robinson's in it, Fred MacMurray, Barbara Stanwyck. And this is one of those classics, like I said. And it has that heavy voiceover throughout the whole thing, the old like detective drama style. And I realized as I was watching, I'm like, well, that's probably where they got that style for Naked Gun. But yeah, this is where it all took place. This is where he hatches the plan to kill her husband on the train, and that way they can collect, instead of $50,000 for the insurance, they'll be able to collect $100,000, which is the double indemnity clause. And of course, we know it ends up blowing up in his face. There it is. That's the house. Like I said, just other than like the staircase and the way that they changed the driveway, the garage, that was a different style, and I'll of course post pictures to show you. But right here, actually, like right in the driveway, is where his car would have been parked, and when he's leaving from writing the policy for the husband, Lola, the daughter, would have been sitting in his car and asked him to give her a ride so she could meet up with a boy that nobody in her family wanted her to see. Another cool thing about that movie is that all the addresses they give in there, places they're going, the intersections and everything, those are actually real places. And if you remember the time that I went to when they dedicated the square to Forrest Ackerman in vlog 105, that square is where, right here, she wants to be dropped off at. She says the corner of Vermont and Franklin, the northwest corner. And actually where the Ackerman dedication is that I showed you guys was on the northeast corner. So now, if that would have actually been a skating rink back then now it's an apartment building. But from what I read, since this was a Billy Wilder movie, a lot of the places and intersections and everything that he incorporated into this movie, they were all places that he actually hung out and that were important in his life. And if you want more of just kind of a landscape as to how the actual house really looked that you don't get to see, there it is. This is such a weird day. Now it's overcast again. We go out and do the vlog, and it's so hot, and of course I'm wearing my winter coat. The sun's out, it gets so hot that I'm like sweating while I'm doing it. Come home, edit the thing, and I'm like, oh, let's go put the sunglasses back in the console or else I'll forget them. And if I don't wear sunglasses on my way out there, the sun will be blazing. So, of course, I put the sunglasses on and there's no sun at all. It's cold, it feels like it's gonna rain again. But Jaw's getting a walk and he's happy, so we're all happy, right? I'm really sorry I didn't get more from the Laughlin Park estates, the Cecil B. DeMille and Charlie Chaplin. I was getting kind of paranoid because there were signs that said like you had to have a permit to park on the street and everything, and then it was strictly enforced, and then just about every one of those mansions had a ton of like surveillance signs and cameras everywhere, and I'm like, yeah, I don't want to create any trouble for myself. But now you guys kind of know the address. They're all on DeMille, so you can look up the street addresses I gave you, which is 2000, 2010, and 2015. Look those up on Google Earth. I'm sure in some way you'll be able to see the houses. That house that I showed you, the 2015, or I tried to show you, of W.C. Fields, that was where his daughter drowned in the pool. He was living there when that happened, in the front yard. Well, I'm out here to get something to eat. I'm gonna go to Jerry Ferrara's restaurant called Fat Sal's. Jerry Ferrara's turtle on Entourage. And I don't come here very often, actually. Just once a year they have a sandwich called the Fat Pilgrim, and it's like sweet potato fries, turkey, stuffing, gravy, and cranberry sauce, and it's really good, and they only have it for like 1 month, and this is the last week. And since Dave and I haven't started training yet, the reason that is because I have to work 9 hours tomorrow for New Year's Eve, and it's been raining, so since I didn't want to be sore when I had to work a 9-hour shift, and most of our workouts are going to be outside, I figured there was really no point, and actually he said the same thing. He's like, there's no point in starting until after the first then. So, go get something to eat. It was a 25-minute wait just to get my sandwich, but it was so worth it. One of the best sandwiches I've ever had. And the only time I'll have it all year. And it's starting to sprinkle, so time to head back, and I still gotta go to the bank, dang it. This is actually kind of funny to me. I ordered these 3 pairs of sunglasses the first week that I started vlogging. I ordered the green ones as well, and I ordered some yellow ones, and I ordered them all on the same day, and the green and yellow are the only 2 that showed up, and that's how the green pair came to be. I probably never would have worn them had these blue ones shown up, but so that was 144 episodes ago that I ordered these, and they just finally showed up. I've been long since refunded and everything, and when the package came in the mail, I'm like, what in the world could it be? I'm not expecting anything. Then when I opened it up, I just started laughing. And I thought you guys might find this kind of funny. Sometimes it takes almost 5 months or whatever to get your mail. I am totally committed to getting every single thing on my list done today. And I want to get it all done in the next hour and a half before the Florida State-Michigan game comes on. I think I can do it. I got about a 20-minute walk. I don't really know what's going on with this weather, but it's starting to sprinkle again. Just as soon as I start walking. I don't mind getting rained on, so I'll do it, but coming up here, this place with these kids on the wall, this is like a, it's a center for like runaway kids, kind of. Basically like homeless kids that have left and they're in their like late teens, early 20s and don't really have anywhere to go. They open this up during the day and let them have access to like the internet so they can look for jobs and just maybe enroll in school or whatever. And it kind of became famous because Miley Cyrus took one of the kids that goes there as her date to an award show like a year or 2 ago. And you can kind of tell she's still involved because every once in a while in the neighborhood, especially lately, the last 2 weeks, you see kids wearing her clothes. She has like a clothing line called Happy Hippie, and it's like a smiley face, and both eyes are H's. Then it has like a smiley face under it. And you see all these kids in hoodies out here wearing the Happy Hippie sweatshirt, so she apparently does practice what she preaches. I don't know anything about this, but I just stopped in this tiny little Russian market because I saw they had like a little ice cream display, and this was 99 cents. I don't know what the difference is, but I love the logo. Now that I've eaten almost half of it, I'm actually gonna say this thing's better than almost any ice cream bar I've had out here. It's phenomenal the more you eat it. Alright, well, I'm the proud owner of a retirement fund, should I live long enough to see it. Well, so far it's 20-9. Florida State's been pretty effective shutting them down, and Michigan's 2-star players aren't playing, so. Well, it's pretty much the end of the game, and Florida State just intercepted Michigan, and I got a text from my sister saying Harbaugh's about to have a meltdown, and I think I'm a few seconds behind her on the play because as soon as she said that, I saw him go running out onto the field, so you guys can kind of see it here.
He got an early jump, and that's what forced the early throw from Will Spade and forced the interception.
It bounces up in the air, and then he catches it on the way down, and boom. That's probably the game.